t-shirt?
It's just going to say the same to you.
Not planned.
Not planned.
Not planned.
Although I was very happy when I pulled up and I could see it, and I was like, yes.
I was
Should probably just complete the whole.
I was planning on inventing like a whole shtick about like how you never wear my t-shirt.
I have a great way of cock blocking anything you try to do. I've been ruining your career ever since I met you, and you've never really clocked until now.
Yeah, now you've told me. It's very upsetting. Actually. A lot of it makes sense. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm well.
Nathan?
You well, Mick?
We never do that.
Do you know, I was thinking when I was editing the last one, there's a lot of things we don't do, namely being, first of all,
The Patreon.
Patreon. How are you?
Thank you, everyone who has been donating and making this look the way it looks right now.
Thanks. Yes. Also, something I noticed that we should say at the start of every episode now is that you can watch this.
Yes, we should say that. Yeah.
Yeah, because I kept thinking like I was going to stick like, remember the way before, if there was like a bit of housekeeping to do, I might have just stuck like a quick fucking intro at the top, just of me going like, oh, here, we forgot to say this or whatever. Quick. yeah, I know. I tend to go on a bit.
Like, listen back going, all right, some fucking bit of housekeeping. What's that on my wrist?
Where's my phone? But it feels like on a video podcast that would be weird to stick in, you know.
Yep.
But anyway, so yes, you can listen to the podcast, or you can always listen to the podcast to start again. You can watch the podcasts now. For anybody who is a bit behind or is just catching up or whatever, or missed those episodes where we were talking about it. The link to every video will be in the description, but not all of them. So I think we've been doing like one a month or something for.
Feels like a waste to go to all this effort.
Yeah. For the 4 views. I might turn the views off, man. That really fucking upset me. Like after there was one night where like I couldn't fix the problem, and it took me hours and hours and hours. It's the kind of stuff that like if I knew what I was doing, I'd probably be able to fix like right away. Mm-hmm. But because I don't know what I'm doing, I can't fix them right away because I don't even know what questions to ask.
And I'm not much help.
You're not, indeed. Not at 6 a.m. Whenever all these things seem to fucking decide to be a problem. But yeah, and I remember I was like fucking like breaking my hole to get it done, and then I like checked it like the next day or something, and like 4 people had watched it, and I was just like, well, I'll just go fucking die then. But that's all right. But yes, so for anybody who is interested, now in 1080p, shot on our phones, which is probably not a bad thing. No, we can't be distracted by anything. I just realised as we've been saying that we should probably turn all these phones in airplane mode.
Mine's is
already on.
It's on Do Not Disturb.
Oh, you humble bastard!
But also all my notes are on my phone as well.
You have no idea what you're going to talk about. But yes, so
did you ever notice the amount of sand at the beach?
They're going to and other gems we've missed out on this week. But yeah, no, thanks.
It's part of a tight 5 I'm working on.
just 4 minutes and 47 to go.
About sand.
Ain't life a beach? Mick McCullough.
Tickets always available.
We'll take shells as payment. But yeah, so just to tie a bow on it, thank you very much to genuinely to everybody that is watching, and thanks,
including my own ma.
Watching.
She was up in bed with COVID during the week.
How's he getting on? If your parents got one of those relationships. Yeah.
No, Dad's on a golfing trip.
Right.
I hope he's not watching this one. No, and she apparently took it upon herself. She must have been absolutely bored out of her mind, going, let's see what the middle child has been up to this last 3.5 years.
Every now and again she goes, oh.
And she thought, well, at least he's healthy-ish. But she said, we were very funny, so
good.
There you go. My mommy likes me.
Straight from the most reliable of sources and unbiased. for sure.
I just was surprised that she'd bothered to tune in at all.
My ma always listens, flat out. Text me there this week. She's a couple episodes behind. Must have been on the one where we were talking about that show Sex/Life.
Right.
And was like, stop watching that smut, you dirty bastard. Sorry, Mum. Told you from day one you shouldn't listen. But and
then it made me think, who else is listening that I don't expect to be listening?
not many people. We can delve into the stats. It's very upsetting.
We'll make the stats. The more you donate, the more we'll make the stats available to
Here,
us.
do you know what I did do though? I logged into our. This might be dull. We'll skip over it very quickly if it is. But I finally found a way to like log in and see what the Spotify stats are, and they like more than double what we thought we have been doing.
Ah, right.
So
There you go.
shout out to everybody listening on Spotify. That's cool.
Shout out to us.
Shout out to us. And I have
We've been doing it thinking we were only having half the success.
Yeah, well, I feel half as better. But and then I have logged into the Apple side of things to try and do the same, but it takes a few days to fucking whatever. So I'll know who's listening there as well, and your addresses and all your credit card information. Apple are bastards. But yeah, so it was a bit of a lift this week whenever I figured that out. I was like, oh, cool. Well,
That's cool.
There's a couple of hundred more people listening than I was aware of, which is nice. Unless Podbean has been telling us the Spotify stats, and it's just generally upsetting. And it's just generally upsetting. You know what I mean? Like just in general upsetting. But yeah. And thanks to everybody that like fucking randomly decides to give us a message to say that they've been enjoying the podcast and
Yeah.
stuff.
It's a lot of fun.
it
On
goes
that,
a long-
actually,
goes a
back
long way.
to something we talked about a couple episodes ago.
I know what's coming.
Your chippy,
Feeling salty?
your chippy vindication. One of our listeners, just gonna wait till he blows his fat cloud there.
Time to elect the new chip pope.
Now,
Pope Jackie Lennox III.
listener Ben McGee didn't say that it was the best chippy he ever had, but
That's
he did
fair.
say it was in the top 3, which I think,
I'll take it.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. He just needs more time to accept it, you know. But I feel really good about that.
Yeah, I can tell you're very.
I feel great about it because I'm right, and top 3, you know, that's fine. I'll take that.
So, chippies, if you're listening, send us your chippies to the Vault Building.
For personal,
We'll pivot,
for science.
We'll pivot this YouTube channel into like a.
You eat things and I react, or vice versa kind of show.
Nathan reacts, it'll just be you whiteying the whole time. I can't believe you're fucking eating that.
Just mouth wide open, me just like shaking in the corner, just like the audio quality. But yeah, isn't it mad how YouTube just turned into that?
What
Like-
everything? I love YouTube. You know this. I love the. I've kind of got into like just randomly watching. If I have 15 minutes to spare, rather than put on a show, I'll just stick some random thing that's been recommended to me on. And I'm not a Nazi yet, but it's going that way because that's just how YouTube works. I don't want to be, but the more time I spend on it, it just seems to happen.
Every now and again, it just goes, do you want to see something else we think is cool? Do
If you like that, you might like this. Come here and here behind this curtain.
you want to see something else we think is cool? I know you like those Blues Breaker guitar pedals. You know what else is cool? Breaking Society.
Well, but I love the titles that people put on their videos to try and. It's
Yeah.
obviously like
The
it's like a
clickbaity.
rage click thing. I think is
That's high
Yeah.
up there on success. Yeah.
and they like.
We should have called our last video Mick Destroys Chowder. You know what I mean? That
Yeah.
one we stuck up, Mick Destroys Noctons.
In a way, I did destroy that woman's cheddar. Ruined her whole lunch.
Can you imagine from the other people's point of view? Finally got into a fucking pub for the first time in a year and a half. And they're like sitting there just enjoying their chowder and like a nice Guinness and all. And then just some cunt gets in his knee behind you and you're like,
Just trying to have my lunch in fucking peace. You ever tried to eat cheddar with a fork? It's fucking impossible. I think they noticed. I think they might have. They probably clocked on and just, you know,
just don't look at them. It's like
don't give them the attention they so clearly crave.
I don't want to end up on TikTok again. It's like a T-Rex. Just don't look at it.
What are we talking about?
You were saying.
Oh yeah, so the titles.
I'm glad you know because I had nothing.
the YouTube titles and then the stills that they put as their thumbnail, and it's always like. And I've got this. I've started watching this Danish guy who just has this real. He has this thing.
What's his name? Talk me through.
I can't remember what it is, but his whole thing is
Bjorgensen. Carry on.
Like, I watched a video of his called "Why Dubai is an absolute joke," and then he just goes,
"Give me the hits."
It's just a 15-minute rant about why Dubai is like a pastiche of capitalism and it's the very worst of humanity and all this here. You get really, really irate about the traffic system and you know those man-made islands that are like the palm trees.
Yes.
So apparently it's like shaped like a leaf, and every artery of the leaf or whatever is so there's a motorway runs up the middle, and all these arteries kind of equidistant peel off left and right. But they're all just suburban homes, and this was really fucking. He really pissed him off. He's like, imagine the fucking congestion. Don't go to Dubai. Don't go to Dubai. You're just stuck in traffic or in prison. You can't even wank on the beach.
My brother lived there for like 3 months, and just said like it was just a bit mad sometimes. You know,
well, according to this Danish fella.
He can confirm.
It's an absolute joke,
It's
Nathan.
an absolute joke. I have no interest in going anywhere as hot as that. You know what I mean? Like it would be too warm.
Yeah, I don't mind the heat. It's the
Careful now, don't. I know you've been on that rabbit hole on YouTube. What you say next is very important, Nick.
It's the lack of Christian civil liberties.
I'm glad you found a way to make the same joke. See, that's why he's a professional. And I would have just been like, I'm going to lose my career, but it's going to be worth it, I guess, because people will know what I meant.
People famously always know what people mean on the internet.
Yeah, nearly exclusively. Yeah. You know, like that famous site Reddit, whose slogans are "I get you."
Loud and clear, buddy.
F for respect.
I mean, I've been guilty of. I've had like a couple of near falling outs with friends over
It's so
just
easily done.
being they're misconstruing a tone on
Yeah.
a WhatsApp message. You know, so you take that and you put the whole world together.
Yeah.
And you remove the context of intonation and tone and intent.
I
and
was
just-
using libtard as a term of endearment. calm down. Snowflake. These fuck. I was right. Yeah. I mean, it's easily done, isn't it? Like, but no, I'm glad you brought up. I've been on like a similar sort of a rabbit hole just with all the time I've spent cursing at my computer recently. I've been taking regular breaks just to try and break up the anger. But yeah, no, there's a couple. In fact, there's a couple that actually have been really useful for like learning stuff about like Final Cut, which has been really helpful. And there's a couple of those that I've subscribed to. There's like people.
What's up, guys?
Yeah. there's a guy that I recently started following that does like cooking stuff, and he starts every video with like, "What's up?" and it really annoys me. His cooking's incredible, but just that first fucking 2 seconds, I'm like, "Fuck you, Brian Lagerstrom. Fuck you." Now show me how to make ziti. That's what I came here for.
I'm
What's up?
fucking starving.
What's up? Yeah. Oh, but everyone's got to have a hook, I suppose.
Yeah.
Ours was get fucked
For a while.
Yeah.
You thought it would antagonize and alienate the audience, and in a way, I guess that's been this whole podcast.
That's what they come here for. But yeah,
We still haven't settled on a new bio since we sacked off doing the stories.
I know. Yeah, so there's going
We
to be
need
a lot
to figure that out.
It's going to be a lot of yeah. But how do we colourfully say just two lads chatting shit?
Yeah.
Because that's exactly what we said.
To fill in the downtime of their careers.
Yes, which is most of it.
Maybe if we spent
On balance.
maybe if we spent less time talking shite, we wouldn't
If
have
I-
all the time to talk shite, Nathan. Is what I'm starting to realise right now in this moment. Just always stuck for time, then sit here for 3 hours on Tuesday just shooting the breeze. Wearing our own merch.
for money. Wearing our own merch. But yeah, it does make me think though that yeah, we should use YouTube more.
Yep.
I think
definitely.
I think the clips that we have taken out over the I try to like just take. I hope they're enjoyable. I'm judging by the response. I don't know if it's a mistake to try to share the same video multiple times from different accounts.
Fuck it, we're just figuring it all out.
Yeah.
You are with us on this journey as we
fumble our way.
it's like putting
Over.
the train tracks down as the train's going, laying it in front of you and then pulling it up behind you,
Yeah.
handing it to you and you're putting it down.
Yeah.
Great metaphor.
I've seen that Japanese game show. But yeah. Anyway, enough shop talk. About stats.
That's what we were talking about?
I can't remember.
I thought we were chatting about Dubai.
I can't remember. But you reminded me of something which I nearly forgot, and I'm so glad that you've reminded me of it. I had the most mental interaction the other night.
At a gig?
After a gig.
Mm-hmm.
So I was loading out, and I feel so confident in telling this because I know that this person won't be listening. Okay? It was made more evident by the interaction, in fact.
You'll have to speak up. I'm very bad here. I'm absolutely...
So I was loading my gear out of the Dirty Onion, and I normally so I have my car parked somewhere else, and I always have to like move it back just so that it's closer, and I have to fucking drag my gear halfway across then. And I pull up into the taxi rank and just put my car on the put the hazards on. I was just loading out, and then on my last run, I like saw a guy and was like, I went to school with that fella. I was like looking at him. I was just like, I don't know. It just felt like seeing like a penguin in the Sahara. I was just like, I can't.
You're a long way from home.
I can't imagine why this guy's here.
Yeah.
So it like took me a minute, but I was like, no, it's definitely him. Like I was like, it's definitely him. And I was like, let's call him Robert. I was like, Rob, and he was like, I'm going to do exactly what he did, right? So if you're me, right, he goes,
Rob.
Yeah. Right?
What of it?
So, and I was like, Robert McRobertson. And he was like, yeah. And I was like, hey, how are you? I was like, do you remember me? And he went, yeah, Nathan, how are you? And I was like, I'm well, thanks. I was like, how have you been? I was like, how?
At that stage, I was like, right, well, fuck
No,
you then.
I had to, because I remembered why this was happening. But
did you? Right.
Yeah. But so I was like, I'm well, yeah, thanks. I was like, what brings you to Belfast? And he was like, and again, like, so sorry, he's looking because he's trying to hail a taxi.
Yeah.
But also has no interest in talking to me at all,
Yeah.
and it's obvious. And should have been if I'd have thought about it. But anyway, but
Can I get a taxi there?
yeah. So I was like, this fucking guy hasn't changed at all in 10 years. So sad, right? I'll not bury the lead, right? We didn't get on particularly well in school, right?
Right.
He was friends with a bunch of lads that I kind of became friends with around like third year or something. And he was very much one of these lads that like, it was like, you can't be friends with my friends, they're my friends. He was one of those guys, and so like right off the bat, he was just like, I just remember like always like he was just such a cunt. Like he was just he fucking hated me like from day one. And I was just like, so of course I responded in kind then after a while. I was like, well, fuck this guy. There's like, no point in fucking talking to him. And that was essentially like our entire relationship in school. Like, and it was just like kind of general disdain that kind of just petered into just like a kind of one of those
apathetic, fuck you, just kind of
just like I guess we have to be in the same fucking building for a couple of more years, and that was the end of it. But it had been 10 years.
Yeah,
I was like,
that's
fucking
mad. Like,
who cares anymore? You know what I mean? Like I've ran into people that like fully bullied me in primary school and just been like, hiya.
Yeah, I've run into people that kicked the fucking head out of me, like when I was in secondary school. I'm like, well, obviously I was going to be nice to him. Like,
Just finally got over it. But you know what I mean? Like, it had been so long.
How's it going? How's it going? How's it going, Shovel? How's it going? Shovel on account of his giant hands.
Yes.
That was his
Okay.
nickname.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounded so real.
Imagine getting into a fight with a guy who towered over you and who had a nickname for the size of his hands because he had massive hands.
That's crazy.
I'll never forget. And like a fucking meteor just soaring towards my face.
Picking up the basketball like it was a schlitter.
Anyway.
Just right out of the air, just dropping it in. 2 more points for Shovel. Rack him up. His voice is so deep. But anyway, so that's the context, right? I just wanted to get that out of the way because I wasn't like,
Yeah.
I knew, like when
You're
I saw,
not an innocent victim, nor are you. It's just, nor were you
just
an
thought that-
antagonizer. You're just
yeah.
a product. This was the product of.
yes, I just thought that by now, like that's
Yeah.
why, like I remembered that when I saw him, I was just like, it's been 10 years. I'll see how he is. I'm sure he's seen me too. Don't want it to be fucking weird. Well, did I make a mistake? So I was like, I goes, what brings you to Belfast? And he goes, I work in banking and I live in Dublin and sorry, no, I need to do it how he said it. He was like, so I'm you. He was like, I work in banking and with a couple of guys in Dublin. We're on a night out, right? Mm-hmm. And so I was like, cool, right? And then there was clearly, I had my guitar in my hand. So I feel like he clearly was like, I guess I better fucking say something back to him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm being rude. So he goes.
Once again, this fucker's put me out of my comfort zone by making me engage with him.
So
I didn't like it when he did it in school, and I don't like it now.
well, he did not indeed. So then he goes, I have my guitar in my hand, and he goes, what about you? You're still gigging then? And I was like, yeah, flat out, man, yeah, working away. And then he goes, do you have like a house? I was like, yeah. And he goes, cool. Do you have a girlfriend? I was like, yeah. And he goes, cool, man, I'm really happy for you. And just walked away. Okay. Isn't that mad? Do you have like a girlfriend? Do you have like a house? No, we live in a fucking shoebox.
He was waiting for you to say no to one of them, and he's like,
What I do. Oh man, it was just like the most, and he was like, well, I'm happy for you, or whatever. Like it was how we finished it. And I like my car was like just there, and I was just like,
this is my car as well.
Yeah, what else do you want? I own this guitar as well.
See these shoes? Both of them are mine.
I call these like shoes. But both of them are mine. That's very good. Sorry, it takes me a minute. There's a lag, you know, but it's the internet connection. And so he was like cool. Like, and I just went, all right, man. Well, and just got into the car and fucking drove away. And was just like, I don't know why I thought, like, I don't know why I thought, like in hindsight, I don't know why I thought it. I don't know what I wanted from it. Like, I don't really care. Like, I just thought it'd be polite to say hello to him. And secondly, like, I guess in hindsight, like we really didn't get on in school. You know?
So it was it like just mutual antipathy? Is that's the word? Or was it like, was there aggression? Like, were you poking at each other? Do you know, like throughout your?
There was a time. So we had our friends that were in common were really into really into American football. And one day when we were like 15 or something, them and like one other person were the only people who like knew the rules of American football. But one day they wanted to play American football like in like a rugby field that was near the house, and they were like, "Oh, it'll be a bit of crack or whatever," and we were just like, "Fuck, whatever, grand. Sure, we're 15. What else is there to do?" And I was like, "Just we're all very self-aware." But so I don't know. There was like 5 or 6 on a team each or something, and like we were literally like, you know, each
Jumpers for goalposts.
yeah, exactly. Like, and it was like, no, there was actually rugby goalposts, full length rugby pitch, 5 on each team. I'm open. What?
I said I'm open.
But and I remember like this is like my main memory of him, like where I think of like when it was at its worst. Yeah. But like, so he was on the opposing team, and I still don't really know an awful lot about American football. But what I understand is, so like if my team has the ball, say like, and it's like we're on a fence. And I said offense there, just like a yank, just to really get into it. But it's offense. If we're on the offensive, and you and so like the ball gets snapped right in front at the line of scrimmage, right?
Scrimmage?
It's where the ball is,
right? Okay,
where the play is happening.
So like a village.
Yes,
Cork.
yes, exactly.
It's
yes,
the border of the village.
Great chips, but like everywhere in Cork. But so there's the offensive line and the defensive line, and they're like, so each are facing a person from the other team. Yeah. And whenever the ball gets snapped, the defensive line are trying to get to the quarterback, and it's the offensive line's job to block them from getting to the quarterback. And then,
can I just say, you're doing a great job at explaining this.
I'm
following it.
Thank you. And then also to make a run and get beyond them and catch the ball or make a run or score a touchdown or whatever the fuck, right? So me and fucking Robert were facing each other.
Oh fuck.
Right? And he was a good bit smaller than me, like he was like, no, well, to be fair,
the story was on, like,
a lot of it's adding a lot.
I fucking just clotheslined him, and I left him there unconscious. And as I was backing out of the pitch on my bike, I accidentally went over his cat.
I didn't even have a car. I robbed it and then I did it. Yeah, and so basically, like, when the ball, now again, to be fair, like none of us knew the rules, and we don't ever see it on TV, and we're like, right, so you snap the ball and we beat the fuck out of each other, isn't it? Right. But like, you know, the lads that did know were keeping us right, and like essentially what you're meant to do is like, you're not allowed like pull or like hang on or like you can block the person coming, and I can try get past you, but like I can't just like grab you by the head or something, you know what I mean? But like, so I remember it was getting to this point where like,
that's for the changing rooms after.
the ball was snapped. Like,
okay, we were 15, guys.
We were exploring. But so like the ball was getting snapped, and so like say my team had the ball, so like I was trying to get past him, and instead of just like being in the way, he was like, I remember like he was properly like holding on to me and like kicking my shins and stuff, and I was like, hey, like, stop that. That's really fucking annoying, right? And he was like, I could tell, like, I remember just being like, he is loving the opportunity to have like a justification for this. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And so I remember just like leaving the first few go, and then whenever the things got swapped, he was running towards me, and I remember, I don't even think anyone was even throwing him the ball. I just hip checked him and just fucked him into the air, and then like he landed on the floor, and then I didn't like do any big like or whatever. Like, I was just like, oh whoops. I was just like, oh whoops, you know. But I remember like going out of my way to just be like, just slam him onto the ground, and like probably should have been sent off if it wouldn't have brought down the size of the team by 25%. But like stuff like that was like when it like was at its like most boiling, you know what I mean? But I think like he didn't like, if I'm to guess, like from like early on in school, and like I will say, like I do think back like a lot of my time in school and just be like absolutely like scundered for myself.
Do you ever be walking down the street and you just remember something and you just go, ah,
yeah,
I do that.
Yeah,
2 or 3 times a day.
I stood on a plug today.
It's that kind of thing of but it's that sort of same reaction. I'd be walking, just go, ah,
yeah,
and then you just have to let the memory pass. You're like,
yeah,
you're not that person anymore, and you just roller skate away.
100%, man. Yeah, like so like I fucking used to like take every opportunity in school that I could to like sing and do stuff to do with music or whatever. Entered like talent shows and all that kind of crack. I like won one when I was in first year, and then like was in a couple of bands in school, or well, just the one band in school. I was in like musicals, like in school, like all this kind of stuff. So I think there was that element as well where like he probably was like, who the fuck does this guy think he is? But probably rightly, you know, like I probably was carrying on like a fucking cunt, you know what I mean? But I like, but it always just felt like it felt more
Petty.
than, yeah, it just, it was like, these are my friends. It just always felt like that. I was just like, that's such a lame reason to be not friends with someone. You
Well,
know?
he's very happy that you have a house and a girlfriend.
Well, like a house and like a girlfriend.
Yeah.
Let's not get too confused now. Do you sell like mortgages or mortgages? What do you do? But yeah, I remember it was just like, it was one of the most bizarre interactions.
I get now why you said he wouldn't be listening.
Yeah, no, he's not a fan. Not a fan. But yes. Other than that, the weekend's gigs have been grand. Mostly, it's been nice being back playing. I've had a good few this weekend. I did one in the Empire, which I haven't done in ages, which was really nice. And where else was I? I was in Henry's and had a non-alcoholic Guinness.
Oh, you were saying?
Very good.
I was
Big fan.
I felt like
Sensible.
you were the second person to mention 0% Guinness to me that day.
It was really good, man.
And the first person I just said, "Oh, why don't you just have a pint of water?"
To be fair, if the water came out that colour, like...
I mean,
Do you not drink... Is your soul
you know
reason,
I don't drink to enjoy myself.
but is your soul like when you're in the off license? Is there no moment of like, well, I like the taste of this better, or is it just like that's the strongest and cheapest?
No, it's never the strongest and cheapest, but it's like alcohol has a taste that I'm only gonna.
Well, have you had the zero alcohol?
But
Guinness?
it's like alcohol has a taste that you tolerate. Like it's nice, you know, and obviously there's a whole flavor profile, but there's also
I really like
always
the
that.
taste of-
I love the taste
Yeah.
of Guinness, but it also love the way it makes me feel after a few pints, and that is more
really
the
turns you
allure.
on.
It really does.
It knocks you off your feet.
I love.
Your lonely days are gone. It ain't nobody's business. Sorry.
But
I know what you mean.
I'm just like, what's the point? If I drank one non-alcoholic Guinness, I'm like, I'd still fuck my keys in the lagging and go, right, I've got the taste for it now.
It was, I'll say, like, the only reason I was really excited for it is because, like, when I'm gigging, like, so, like, this weekend I had, like, 2 on a Friday, 2 on a Saturday, and so, like, you're out all day on those days where you have 2, say, for instance, and, like, there's only so much fucking coffee you can have, or, like, whatever, and so, like, I've started drinking, like, the non-alcoholic Heinekens are good, like, and the bottles are pretty good. But just because I don't want to have like a Fanta or something, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I
like,
get you.
But I was excited by the idea of like a non-alcoholic stout just to see what it would be like, and like of all the non-alcoholic, you know, clones that I've had of any beer, it's the closest to the original for sure. Like it's really fucking good actually. Like, and it, like the head was class. Like it was.
And what's the offer code this week for this?
No more booze. I'm not good at making these up on the spot. I'm good at branding if I have time. But yeah, it was. I have to say now, it was actually. I thought you might feel this way about it though.
I know, and I know it's such a basic bogman stance to take, but it's more
tasty,
about my
like as a drink in general. Like
I do love a pint of Guinness.
It is nice tasting. Like I feel like it's so convincing that if I gave it to you and told you that there was alcohol in it, you might get
placebo full.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like
you know what? That I'd be up for you trying to dupe me some night. And then because I like the thought of getting absolutely steaming and waking up and feeling fine.
And you'd be like, I'll just throw you the keys. Like, Mick, you're driving us home. You're like, I can't at all. And be like, no, you're completely sober, Mick. I've been giving you water all night. Whew. Imagine just the moment. It's like, oh no, I am sober. Yeah.
That feels, and then you just drive home.
Yeah,
I think you might be onto something here.
Incredible.
Tricking people into thinking they're drunk.
It's better, especially like on a night out if you're driving. Like it's better than fucking carrying around. Like how much coke can you drink?
That reminds me of when we were like 14 and we were sold a load of oregano in a wee bag.
Oh really? Yeah.
Well, we were like 14. We were trying to buy weed and we bought this wee bag of like just fucking spices and none of us knew any. Like we had been like obviously we had bought weed before and we'd smoked it and stuff. So
you didn't know the smell was different.
But we hadn't that much, you know. So we were only like 14 or whatever. So we got to the we were all smoking it and like sitting down by the riverbank, all giddy as fuck, laughing away, tears.
Mate,
laughing.
this is some primo shit.
And then, like, the next, and we found out later that day.
Your mum was like, "Were you doing fucking Bernadelli's last night?"
But like, I remember like when we found out that it was just like whatever, oregano or parsley or whatever.
Just feeling like a fucking.
No, I remember all of us because we were 14. Everyone's like, "Oh yeah, it must have been the tobacco high, the head rush from the tobacco made us dizzy, and that's why we were all so giddy. That's why, you know, we weren't all just fucking thinking in our heads and willing it to happen."
Nobody wanted to be the only one to be like, "I don't feel anything."
Yeah.
yeah.
I think the same thing happened when banana skins was another thing you were told as a kid to kind of dry out and smoke.
Really?
Yeah.
As the wrap or as the
skins?
thing?
Yeah. The skins, like you dry it out. And
No, but like as the filling or what? I've never heard of that.
I mean, we were 14. I don't know where we were getting our information from.
Yeah. My brother told me.
Yeah, it was one of them ones.
I remember a couple of like house parties and stuff when I was younger, just of folks pretending to be way drunker than they were. Like, just it was such a thing, like, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it was just like
it's a machismo thing as well.
I'm way
like,
drunker than you.
Yeah,
but it's funny because like nowadays, like when you get older, it's like you want to seem like you're not.
Yeah,
pissed.
you can handle it.
You can handle your drink,
yeah.
but when you're younger, it's like, oh, I'm feeling it.
Yeah.
Oh, I can feel it.
It's like a badge of honor to get your stomach pumped as well.
Yeah.
Mad bastard. He got his stomach pumped. He opened his gullet and put a fucking quarter bottle of vodka down it before the guy disco and had to get his stomach pumped. What a legend. Just look back
Legend. Legend. Fuck, he said it twice. It's true. But yeah, a lot of that stuff looking back from school makes me fucking. What's your fondest? Do you have like a fondest memory from school?
I really liked the last 2 years of school,
Yeah.
6th and 7th year, because I was studying 3 subjects, 2 that I really loved, another one that was pretty handy, and I was just hanging around the art room.
What were they?
Art, English, and IT.
Ah, very good.
Just putting out the vibe, reading Lord of the Rings, curly gelled hair down to here. I don't know why I used to put, I had real long curly hair, and I used to put loads of like
Brill cream or something.
not
or
even
Dax
Brill
or-
cream, like you know those styling gel, like the VO5 stuff. That's
Yeah.
not the same consistency as
Yeah.
Brill cream, but it would get all hard, and then I would hairspray as well to keep it from fucking blowing everywhere. And it was just this perm brick.
It looks light and fluffy, but you're like, ding.
No, it's just
like a
I
helmet.
remember the crunch and like dried flakes of hairspray
Yeah.
and stuff. Don't know how I managed to get a girlfriend.
Fooled him again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember the like feeling of like hair gel that had like sweated down your neck, and it would like make your skin on your neck like kind of feel dry and weird. Do you ever remember that when like having long hair?
I just well, I mean, like I went to an all boys school. It just stank and had all sorts of sort of sweat and
The
like
vibe in an all boys school must have been entirely different.
Oh yeah, I went to an all boys school my whole life. I think I've told you that, like
Your whole life, really?
my whole
eh?
life until
Jeez.
uni. Like.
Do you think on reflection like that it is a good idea to keep people separate?
No,
Isn't
it's
it?
so bad. Like,
I'm glad
it's
you
such a
agree.
fucking stupid idea. Like, it's weird as well because there was an integrated school, and I know people who went to the integrated school.
You mean
Which
gender integrated
was
or
both like religiously, and like it was a boy and girl school as well, and they all just seemed like first of all they were all a bit madder, but they all in adulthood seem way more fucking.
You must have been smoking your fucking oregano going, those fucking guys don't know how lucky they have
I mean,
it.
the school was in an old mental hospital as well. Or,
Really?
yeah, the
Wow.
Tyrone Fermanagh Psychiatric Hospital was in the old grounds.
Mad.
But they all kind of, I always thought they all seemed like, it was nice that they all kind of, like the friendship circles were mixed in that way. And it's bound to lead to more healthier sort of adulthood relationships.
Yeah. I think so.
Has to be like.
It has to be, yeah.
I always felt for the young female. Well, I didn't feel for them at the time, but I feel in hindsight, being a young female teacher in an all boys school must be fucking hell. You know, like just.
Yeah. I think in any school.
So like
it'd be-
the corridors are pretty small, right? And like classes of boys ranging from raging in several ways from 11 to 18, just lining the walls, and you're there, you're just fresh out of fucking teaching college, you've done your year or whatever, and you've just got this job, you're walking down fucking corridor and it stinks of sweat.
Yeah, can imagine that now.
And they're all just looking at you. Some of them are looking at you uncomfortably. Everybody's looking at you uncomfortably in various different ways of discomfort, you know.
Yeah.
And I just imagine that it would be a fucking awful place to try and then you have to go in there and try and teach them.
Yeah, with some level of authority and stuff. Yeah. It reminds me, like, do you ever see some of those videos of like stuff happen like on Reddit of like kids in America in classrooms kicking off at each other? And do you ever just see like the teacher always comes in just at the end, you know, like some boy, like there'd be two lads in each other's faces or something, just being like, what, say it again, what, and it's like happening for like fucking like a minute or something, and then like one of them will deck the other and the teacher will come over and be like, lads. Like, where were you for the last fucking 5 minutes?
I'm trying to teach Pythagoras theorem here.
You fucking calm down. Look, I know we all get excited about right angles. trying to rein it back in, you know. But yeah, it must be. I imagine there's a great level of skill to that. I'm sure like regardless of your gender, it must be like a tough year or two. Because I mean, when you're just out of like teaching, what's it, like a 3 or 4 year course? So you're going to be like 21, 22 going in. You don't feel that much older than them. Like, you could be teaching leaving certs in Ireland that are 18.
I remember some of the younger teachers saying
we used to
that.
We used to meet someone night outs and stuff like. Yeah, it was fucking. Yeah. It's mad, because I have friends that went and studied to be teachers and stuff after. Like, I remember whenever like they were like, you know, putting up on Facebook that they were like fully qualified now. But like, we were just in school. What are you?
Yeah, are the ones that go back to their school to teach. And I'm like, you're a lifer then, are you? Like, what, like, fucking enjoyed the institution feel, did you? Weren't too afraid to go out to the world, were you?
Do you think you would like to teach?
I did think about it for a while.
Did you?
Yeah.
I think you would have been a good teacher. What would you have went?
Well, I mean, I did kind of teach when I was in Madrid, like.
Well, yes, of course. Yeah. Eight.
Every time, that's near 10 years ago now, man. Every time I think about it, like, talk about stealing a living there. Talk about stealing a living.
Thank you,
used to go into the staff room, me and Julia, every fucking lunch break, we're like, toasted sandwich time. And you go in there, be like a mountain of toasted sandwiches for the first break, and just go fucking fill the plate. Never had breakfast the whole time worked there. Was like, why the fuck would I eat breakfast? There's fucking free toasted sandwiches here. Used to just absolutely rinse the kind of staff room lunch buffet.
Yeah,
it's great.
So it's there for.
And them all talking to me in Spanish. And me, what the fuck are you talking to me in Spanish for? Did you know? Has word not got around? I don't do this. I'm here to teach English. You should be practicing your English on me.
I'll give you notes. If it hadn't have been English though, like, and if you'd have made a career out of it, like, what would you?
It would have only been English.
You think so?
Yeah. I would have only wanted to teach English because I had cool English teachers, or art if I had went.
I had a cool English teacher actually. Yeah, actually, yeah. They're. When I think of all the groups of teachers in the schools, the English teachers were.
I respond to that vibe. I've realised, like, the producer that made my pilot a couple of years ago he was like an older kind of English guy, had been a writer and performer, but his name was John, and like on set he had like a big long, you could tell, type of man. I was like, I bet you he's a Doctor Who fan, you know, one of those.
Yeah.
You know those guys, big long coat, and he just, and kind of the tuft of grey hair down here and glasses. I was like, I know why I have been trying to impress you so much.
like a John Oliver sort of a.
yeah, but like a wee bit older and just kind of. I was just like, I'm responding to your energy because you have a big English teacher vibe, and I'm trying to impress you, like.
Yeah.
Dad,
please. Yeah, I had a cool English teacher, Mr. Burke. I remember or Dr. Burke. Sorry, he was a cool guy. He was. Yeah, they all seemed like nice fellas and ladies. Yeah, I don't know what. I don't know what I would have any business teaching really. Like I'm not even qualified enough in music theory to teach that either. Like,
I could teach kids in a way, like be brought into the class and go, here's what you don't do, you know? Look at this guy, he made all the wrong decisions. Stay away from crack, kids.
You could do
I've had too much crack in my life. Not like that, not the drug. I just mean like too much crack. I didn't save. I was just, I was kind of just, every time someone asked me out, I would go out and I would just drink. And now look at me. I'm a musician. Don't play gigs. I'm a writer. I've never seen anything I've written before.
I only thought of this to get paid.
Speaking of,
is time up yet?
That's bound to be 45 minutes. Mr. McCullough, you just got here. And this isn't a school. This is the post office.
Means I'm late then. Do you remember, it's funny, I catch myself doing it now. So I remind myself of the many instances that people that were like, upon reflection, not that much older than me, tried to give me life advice. I remember it's been like, you don't know what it's like to be me.
Yeah, nobody knows the trials and tribulations of a 14-year-old. Like,
it's funny now being nearly 30 and being like I don't know, like Margaret's sister or something there might be something going on with her, or whatever, like or whatever, like, and just trying to find like a convincing way to be like,
none of it matters.
None of this matters.
In a good way. You're like, none of it matters in a good way.
It's like, I know this seems really important now, but like, you're not going to care. Like, just do your thing and fucking. And like, I remember getting that advice and just being like, yeah, but like, right now though. And it is hard, I guess. Like, if you're in the middle of like a situation or whatever, like that's your life, I suppose. It's probably no good. It's
like when you first get your heart broke. Like, will it ever heal?
Yeah. I remember my dad picking me up after my first girlfriend broke up with me, and I went round to my mate's house, cried there for about 2 hours, thinking till my dad got off work to pick me up. And then I remember he was like a little bit choked up, probably for me, in the car. And I sat in, and he was just like, "Do you want to talk about it?" And I was like, "Nah." And he was like, "That's all right." He was like, "We can if you want, but you don't have to." And I was just like, "No, I'm okay." And he was like, "That's all right." And he just fucking gave me a wee pat.
With your dead arm.
Your
dad. Boom!
You fucking dick. Fucking feelings and all. Sorry, my dad was from Belfast all of a sudden, but yeah. My dad, I feel like my dad was always good for like knowing like when to pitch in, with the like going like probably remembering enough of like, I wouldn't listen to this shit, so what the fuck am I gonna? But like just the right amount.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's the skill of a dad. You know, just to be like, here's the crap.
we won the dad lottery. We've been over this before.
Yeah, we both done exceptionally well. Yeah, in fairness, and both our moms listen to the podcast, so we're doing great.
Thanks, mums. Love yous. Love the both yous. Here's to all the mothers.
Never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you down. But
here, when you rang me last night, I felt caught out.
Why?
Because you were like, "What are you up to?" And I was just sitting on my bed on my laptop with an Excel spreadsheet open, or planning a stag, and I was like, "Fuck!" I can't believe he's caught me doing exactly what he says I'm always doing. And I was like, I have to tell him. What did you say? He was like, "Oh, I'm glad the Excel spreadsheet comes out for the important things." I just was so tired. And I was like,
meanwhile, I can never get into any of our social media accounts because the passwords have changed 2 years ago, and you still haven't fucking told me what they are. But he's like, Nando's, 12 p.m. What tube station is near Nando's? Oh, there's go-karting. I'm like fucking ringing off.
I think I get the next go-karting session free. I think I've done 9. It's me again. I'm back with another stag.
You're like that guy that they have in like casinos in Las Vegas that just like goes up to the people that are spending like burning all their money away, just putting your arm around their shoulder and be like, "You're a cool guy. do you want a free room?" And they're like, "They treat me really well. You know, I get a free hotel room and all." And like, "Yeah, but you lost 50 grand this week. That room's $200."
You think I'd be a great go-karter by now, but I usually fill the place in the top three.
If I was in Colin Geddes was talking on his podcast recently about a stag he went on or something, and they went go-karting, and he reckons it's all about just if you're not heavy. He was basically saying like
I go flying out of it a couple of times.
He said people were lapping him and all.
No, if you go too much the other end, then you get hit.
Yeah.
And you just fucking lose control.
Do you feel like that having?
I was telling you about the what do you call it last week? The fucking Let's Go Hydro, wasn't it?
Yes. yeah. Do you feel that I've never been go-karting?
So many times.
I've never been go-karting.
Have you not?
You've been nearly 10 times in the last year and a half, 2 years.
Let's organize it. Remember,
they all know where this is going, Nick. Nowhere. Let's not get their fucking hopes up again. Let's just do this properly. We'll do this right consecutively for at least a couple of weeks, and then we can start making empty promises again. But we have not earned that right back yet. Fuck me. Let's get 2 in a row at least.
Well, what if I plan it? What if I just take the reins?
Oh, you know where the fucking place is, man.
Mick, come on in.
you fucking
framed photos they have in restaurants.
Fastest lap fucking first 7 or something. Just a little bit more full every time.
Just most laps. Most laps over a 3-year period.
Mick the stigma colour. Do you feel that actually like being able to drive gives you any advantage, or is it just
No, I don't think so.
just like Mario Kart?
It's like Mario Kart.
Yeah.
Oh, I hear you. I want to go with you.
I'd love to do it. I mean, I live fucking right by
Just get engaged, man. I'll
a
do it. I'll
place.
do the
I nearly
whole
told
thing.
people where I live there. Yeah, I mean, I don't live far from fucking.
I've been putting your postcode in the description after you posted anyway.
Is that why that?
No, it's on my phone.
What is it?
It's not even urgent. I don't know why I react. Oh my god. It's nothing to do with anything. It's nothing to do with anything. I was like,
I still need to know.
I was like, so I was thinking to myself, I have something. I remember something that I have to, a story to tell, but as soon as it came to me, I realized it was on my phone and it's also not a story. So my friend Alice was messaged. I was on a work call and it started getting messages coming through and going. The messages, there were voice notes, so I put myself on mute and I was listening, and the voice notes. First of all, I got a message going, here, I was meant to send you this yesterday. So I absolutely died when I seen it. I sent it to loads of people who I thought would find it, who would enjoy it. And I was meant to send it to you and I forgot. And I was like...
Must be on the spreadsheet.
I hadn't replied, and then I got a couple of, like just quick voice notes, and it was like, just trigger warning, there's some explicit content on its way.
Okay.
And I was like... So these messages were coming through, and I was like, fuck, I'm sitting on a work call, and I was not contributing, I was just kind of listening. I was like, fuck it, what is it? And then she just came, and it was just like, I was in the park the other day, and I stumbled across a massive pink dildo covered in shit, and I was like, this is coming out of nowhere. So she sent it, and right enough, it was fucking huge, and covered, Nathan, covered in shit at 10:30 in the morning. Absolutely covered in shit. And this is now you see why I was like, it doesn't matter, it's on my phone. Really.
Some cunt walking around like John Wayne, being like, where do we leave the dildo?
But yeah, I mean, I'm gonna have to show you it after we finish.
I can't wait.
Covered, Nathan.
I can imagine.
Anyway, I'm sorry for derailing. I really wish I hadn't told that story.
Well, do you know what? Because we've been torn out of what we were talking about, it's a perfect time to shoehorn in another thing that occurred to me. Right?
Where did I tell that? I could have even just constructed a better narrative around it to but I just thought, yeah. I got too wrapped up in my own head there, Nathan, about
It's okay.
how
Covered in shit it was.
that and how much of a right turn it was.
Oh! No, wait.
In the middle of a conversation about go-karts. Like.
Yeah, no,
This is how inspiration works. This is how the muse hits you.
it does. You can't fucking plan when
I'm
lightning
not
strikes.
talking. This is being channeled through me. I'm
Like
merely
from
a vessel.
God.
Yeah, I'm merely
Yeah.
a vessel.
I was
24
driving.
years old.
I was driving around the other day listening to the Tommy, Hector, and Loretta podcast, and it's important specifically, right? And I realized I don't know why I do this. I don't know if it's necessary to do this. I don't think it is necessary to do this. Obviously, when I'm driving around, I'll probably be puffing away on that so the window's down.
Mm-hmm.
And I noticed, especially like the last couple of weeks, like they've been chatting about like the GAA or like, you know, because Loretta's like plays football or used to play. I don't know if she used to or still does play football for Mayo, I think. And obviously all the All-Irelands are happening at the minute and all this kind of crack. So they've been chatting about that and they've been talking about fucking various things. Anyway, and I have found myself at like a red light in a town or something. If a car would pull up next to me or something, just putting the window up.
Aye.
So people wouldn't hear.
I do. Yeah. I've been listening to podcasts.
And it's not because it's explicit. Because I don't do it with other podcasts. I just realised that like subconsciously.
Because it's Irish?
Because it's Irish people chatting.
Ah.
That I've been putting the window up. Just without even fucking thinking. I just caught myself doing it the other day, just driving into the dog park with the two dogs in the back of the car. I was vaping away and then came to a red light and just stuck the windows up. And then was like, why did I do that?
Do you believe it's a deep-seated colonial mindset? Where you have this kind of like anything that is a product from this island or this country is always going to, in your mind subconsciously, is less than, say, like America or England because they're the cultural exports we receive the most. I know that's definitely the case for a lot of Northern Irish people because we were not used to ever really hearing our accents in media other than being depicted as violent terrorists or wife beaters. That there's this weird, people have this weird thing about Northern Irish accents from Northern Ireland in music or in television.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting.
Do you know what I mean? I do think that it is. I think across the island wide, it definitely it's more concentrated in the north, but I think it's definitely a thing.
I think it's more specific though to the fact that they had Southern Irish accents and I'm driving around Northern Ireland, if you know what I mean.
Oh, sorry. Right, I get what you're saying.
Because like I wouldn't turn down like Geddes' podcast.
Sorry, I was completely off on a different tangent.
No, I mean it was interesting what you were saying, yeah.
But like that's yeah.
But because
so
like
your thing is a more immediate fear of
I don't even know what the fuck it is, but I just realised that like it's the only one. Now, I mean, sorry, there would be like one other podcast I listen to where like sometimes they might be like playing each other vile clips from the internet, and so if it's like maybe like the before picture of your dildo that you found, you know, maybe somebody be like, fucking hell, gee, you know, I might be like, well, just put that up. But it's a podcast. No, I'm not listening to porn.
What would be the point of that?
Why would I describe it to me. But
driving around just listening to an erotic novel.
Oh, Mills and Boone, you've done it again.
I am fully erect.
Can't wait to go home. But I clock myself doing it like during the week, and I was just like, it's so fucking weird that I do that. Like, what do I think is going to happen? Some cunt be like, did I hear hurling? Tig. Just fucking
funny people do that to me just when they look at me.
Yeah, just guessing.
Yeah,
are
just,
you
have that head on you? Tig.
But and I don't like it. Even in the worst of scenarios, like that wouldn't fucking.
I was wearing my Throne jersey up the Armour Road the other day, and I was like,
this feels dangerous.
This feels dangerous and sexy. Who knows who's watching? I don't care. Let them watch. First time wearing fucking chat.
Nothing. No one wearing anything else.
I only got half a Tyrone jersey because it was too small for Philly. And he gave me it. He was like, that doesn't fit me.
I've never even been.
I forgot that I was at the All-Ireland final 3 years ago.
Were you? Mm-hmm. Who was playing? Obviously, Tyrone, I'm assuming.
Tyrone and Dublin, I think.
Did you win?
No.
Let's not talk about it.
Yeah.
For fuck's sake. Tyrone were playing. Is it like the semi-final? Or
Oh, it's the final now.
It's the final.
Oh, yeah.
Against
Us
Mayo?
two Gales know that.
Against Mayo, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Best of luck.
You'll see me there. You'll see me now.
In Philly's old Tyrone jury.
The absolute epitome of the fair weather fan. Come on, the boys in red and white. All the lads who would have definitely battered me in school. Like,
Right, shovel.
catch that ball, you one hand. He does it 2 hands. I meant with 1 hand.
It's like catching an M&M. Just for the
I
goal.
didn't get battered by a one-armed man.
Would have been okay.
Although, I mean,
There's nothing wrong with that now. There's nothing wrong with that. People with one arm can beat the fuck out of people too.
oh, here.
They can be bullies as well.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. Don't you ever forget it. I panicked. I'll be honest. But yeah, I thought that was interesting. And then I wonder, of all the probably various reasons people feel the need to turn ours down. Or off. That's enough of that there.
And on that,
Yeah.
I'll see you later.
Have a good week.